Welcome back to the Human Lens podcast. I'm your new host, Cinthya, and I'm here with my two co hosts, Nathan and Katherine.
Hello.
Hello!
Our topic of the day is the mystery behind the disappearance of Flight 19 in 1945. And so, Nathan, do you have the context for this mystery?
Yeah, so at this point in time, World War II had just concluded, with the Allies winning under the leadership of the Soviet Union, USA, and Britain. However, rather than demilitarizing, the US and Soviets began to engage in a non direct conflict known as the Cold War.
Alright, so Katherine, can you explain why it's a mystery?
I can, Cynthia. On December 5th, 1945, the squadron from Fort Lauderdale, led by Lieutenant Charles Taylor, conducted a routine practice flight off the coast of Florida. However, during this flight, all members of the squadron disappeared without a trace. No one knows what truly happened to them. This led to a lasting impact in American aviation training, as well as the creation of the Bermuda Triangle myth.
Okay, let's get some facts down. Flight 19 departed at 2:10 p.m. and were able to complete their bombing run at roughly 3 p.m. Around 4 p.m., a recording of Lieutenant Taylor shows that they were having navigational problems, as Taylor is recorded saying, "Both my compasses are out and I'm trying to fight Fort Lauderdale. I am over land, but it's broken. I am sure I'm in the Keys, but I don't know how far down, and I don't know how to get to Fort Lauderdale." This marks the beginning of a downward spiral that the squadron experienced as they began to deal with navigational issues. Once learning about the issues that the squadron was having, operators at the NAS tried switching to a search and rescue radio frequency and implored Lieutenant Taylor to turn on his IFF transmitter to triangulate his location. These attempts were unsuccessful and ignored by Taylor and the pilots with them, having issues amongst themselves and Taylor ordering them east, leaving them stranded without ground support and headed the wrong direction. At 6:20 p.m., a last message was received from Flight 19 with Taylor saying, "All planes close up tight. We'll have to ditch unless landfall. When the first plane drops below 10 gallons, we all go down together," indicating the squadron was quickly running out of gas.
Oh, wait, wasn't there a rescue attempt afterwards?
Yes, in efforts to rescue Flight 19 before they completely ran out of gas, a search party was sent out in attempts to locate. Amongst the party was plane PBM-5, which took off from the NAS Banana River in Florida at 7:27 p.m., carrying 13 rescue personnel. The plane called in a routine message a few minutes later, but within 20 minutes, they disappeared off the radar completely. A merchant ship claims to have seen a burst of flame. Shortly before passing the same vicinity, the plane disappeared. PBM-5 and Flight 19 are both declared missing and presumed dead, as there's no concrete evidence to support the report that the merchant made regarding the PBM-5 and the disappearance of Flight 19.
That sounds really creepy.
Yeah.
Katherine, I've heard you've looked into possible explanations behind the disappearance. Do you mind sharing?
Why, Cynthia, I do mind, but I'll graciously offer my information. First of all, the possibility of mechanical failure being the source of the disappearance. Since their compasses failed and they couldn't be tracked by ground support, no one actually knew where they were and were ultimately lost to this. But this would imply that they crashed even though there were no remains or wreckage ever found.
Well, how about aliens?
Well, there are also theories about aliens being involved in their disappearance, with them having been abducted at some point during their flight. However, there's no solid evidence of this, and the only evidence people have is the 1977 movie Close Encounters of Their Kind to explain their disappearance.
Okay. How about where they disappeared? Didn't they go missing over the Bermuda Triangle?
There are theories about their disappearance being caused by the fact that they went over the Bermuda Triangle, a location known for having multiple vessels and aircrafts disappearing in it. This is also linked to the idea of paranormal alien activity. There's still no evidence of this other than rumors. Also, the Bermuda Triangle was named after this incident, and the NAO claimed the area was only more dangerous due to severe weather conditions.
That sounds plausible.
Oh my gosh, shut up. You're cut off from talking. I still have one more theory.
Yeah, Nathan, let her finish.
Alright.
What I was going to say before I was rudely interrupted by Nathan was that there's also the possibility of human error resulting in Flight 19's disappearance. After all, the only reason that Flight 19 ended up missing was because Lieutenant Taylor insisted upon his fellow pilots in heading east rather than west, which was standard protocol. Not sure why. It is also evident in how the last radio transmission has the pilots sounding frantic and disoriented as they realize that they are lost.
Interesting. What do you guys think? What's the most likely explanation?
I personally think the alien abduction is the most likely theory because it's the only plausible one, as no remains were ever found.
Are you being serious?
Nah, I'm joking. I think that the most plausible theory is the mechanical issues, as Taylor claimed to have been lost due to their compass failing during their flight. This would have explained their disorientation as well as the reason they were never found, given that no one knew where they were, not even the pilots themselves. It's also the theory we have the most concrete evidence for, so.
That does make the most sense.
Okay, so what do you think is the least plausible? Is it the mechanical issues?
What? No, I just said that was the most plausible.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
What? Why?
Oh, I'm the host. I don't have to pay attention.
Okay. So, I think the least plausible explanation is the alien stuff and abductions, as we literally have no evidence for it other than a sci fi movie 32 years later explaining the theory.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Um,
Actually, wait, guys. I think it's the alien abduction because, there weren't any remains found after. So you're low-key wrong, Nathan.
Alright, I'm cutting you out.
What? No, you can't.
Yes, I can. I'm the editor. Alright, where were we?
Alright, I'm tired of you guys. Let's finish this episode. What do you think about the mystery? I found it really interesting that none of the other pilots deviated from the flight course that Lieutenant Taylor chose after they wanted to go west.
I found it really fascinating as not only did the pilots disappear without a trace, they also disappeared over an area with alleged abnormal activity. Kinda cool and creepy at the same time.
Yeah, thank goodness we live in California. Prayers to the Floridians.
Do you guys think it'll ever be solved? Because I personally think that it's not solvable as so much time has passed, almost a century, and any salvageable evidence that can be used to solve the case is probably long gone by now.
Yeah, unless we invent time travel, I don't believe in modern times we can actually find the wreckage and identify a cause of it.
Well, yeah, it's almost been a century since they disappeared. If we find anything, it's most likely decayed beyond recognition or the ocean currents have moved it really far away. That and the limited evidence we have about their actual disappearance, we're not likely gonna find out what actually happened to them.
Alright, I think that's enough for today. You guys are done. I'm tired. Until next time. Bye.
Of course, I gotta clean up.
Why, yes, I can. So, oh crap, I read yours.
Alright, I think that's enough for today. You guys